Mom, why don't you understand? I don't want to go with him. He's not a good guy. When he came here for you, I can't do anything. It's the sound of your father's voice. I know you are not happy with him, but he's very powerful. Mom, his mother crashed her cheek and said. Suddenly, Matthew came here, was smiling. His father, her father was with him. Are you okay, Ryan? Ryan nodded and passing a fake smile. Let's go. He offered her his hand, but she shyly refused, and they both walked out. In the car. Why will I grab his hand? I don't even like him. He's not a good guy. He just acts it. He has so many good tattoos on his neck and I believe that he has so many girlfriends. I'm not a bad guy, Ryan. I know you are thinking about me. She looked at him. You can't justify my character because of my looks. I never said that you are a bad guy. You say that, but I know that you are thinking you don't like me. But I like you. Don't have flirting skills. Yeah, I know. You are the first girl with whom I wanted to spend my life with. Really? Yes, I want to think the same. I don't worry about the future. I promise I will make you happy. Yes, girl in the world. A smile appeared on her lips and she turned her face while smiling. What happened, Matthew? He was about to turn the car, but some boys came out of another car and started shooting. They opened the door of the car and grabbed him by his collar. She got scared, and the creepy boy also grabbed her arm and pulled her out of the car. Leave me, she shouted. What are you doing? Didn't we tell you that we want your fiance? And after hearing this, one asked me, but I refuse to. You think that we will listen to you? You are useless. Who used girls? Do you tell your fiance that you dumped 5 girls before you? No. Matthew kicked him and grabbed her hand and was about to run, but he fell down on the van, screamed, and Stan started crying. They both started laughing and grabbed her hand. And they tied her mouth and legs with a piece of cloth on her eyes. She's crying and begging them to leave her, but who wants to do it? Me, but not here. They were talking to each other, but suddenly one of his friends stopped the car. I hate them because they have so many questions, but we have to answer them and give them so much money. Yeah, let's go. They were about to go out, but that one boy came near her and said, don't try to scream and move, okay? He was holding her hands, but when went out, they forgot to tie her hands. She opened the blindfold and looked at the place. She was sobbing and her tears were falling on her face. She sat down and looked at them. They were talking. She opened her legs and decided to run. She ran in the forest and didn't look back. They looked back and saw the door of the car. What happened? Don't worry, this area is ours. We will catch her there. We're also with. Here one was running like a crazy person. She didn't care about her feet. Her face became numb and red. Blood started coming out of them, but she didn't care. Suddenly she saw a truck. She looked back. I believe that they are behind me. A few minutes later, someone started the truck. She gulped and looked at it. Before she sat down and started crying silently. She don't know where she was going because this truck is going to another city for passage. She herself was inside the parcels. On the road, she was sitting while trembling, but suddenly she heard the sirens. She got scared and put her hand on her face. What is inside your truck? I am driving the parcels to the company. Where are you going? I am going to Seoul. We want to see what is inside. Okay, he was about to open the back door, but oh, let's forget it. What do you want? Go. You can go. That driver nodded and sat in the car. Why are you helping her to get an innocent girl? Because they gave us so much money. We got our money, let's forget it. Why would you do this? They wanted to take advantage of her. Yeah, let's go. He looked at the truck driver and said, you can go, man. Driver nodded and started the engine. One after son, she grabbed her hand and started crying after hearing their conversation. She wanted to ask for her, but she didn't believe because of trust issues. While on the other hand, go come here, look, Wendy came to meet you. He smiled and walked towards his family. They were sitting on the couch and was also with them. Cook was his twin brother and Wendy was Cook's fiance. Cook, look, I bought this for you for me, really? Everyone smiling but Jungkook, he was feeling so jealous. He liked Wendy so much, but Wendy loved Cook. Cook is the same as Jungkook, but their personality were different. Cook was a kind and gentle person, but Jungkook was arrogant. They got arranged last year. Don't you buy anything for me? Today is also my birthday. Cook smiled. Don't worry about turn a bag for you. Really? I love you, bro, he said while running towards his bike. The next morning, Van opened her eyes after hearing the horn. She looked at herself and realized that she was in the city. Suddenly, the driver stopped the truck. We need to shift this inside the company. Yeah, but come with me because boss is calling you, okay? They all went inside the company. She looked at the place and it was totally new to her. She was barefoot. She started walking, but her feet were so injured she slowly started walking. A few months later, she sat down on the bench, her eyes first fire and red. She got a fever and her words spinning. She looked at the kids who were playing. She closed her eyes, and a few minutes later, she opened them and little boy was standing in front of her. He smiled and said, "Wong, come here." Wong looked back and ran. "How many times did I tell you that don't talk to beggars and strangers?" Tears formed in her eyes. She looked at herself and realized that she was looking dirty, and her clothes were torn. Cook, Janko, don't be rude. Hung people like a kidnap and sold them. How do you know? They all started laughing after hearing his statement. She took some courage and started walking. She asking for help, but nobody helped her. She was walking on the road, but since she saw a few boys, she got scared and turned on her pep stop there. He didn't listen to them and started running, but they stopped. I said, "Stop. Please help me now. Please leave me now because after. Please don't do this. We have to. We are going to, and we need to fill the truck and don't try to be over smart because it was not going to and I just sit here. But on the other hand, go safely, my son. He asked Janko, don't worry. Dad, he broke the gunk. Dad, Janko will when will you come back on your wedding day? I will miss you. I will also miss you. Ali smiled and after meeting his brother, he went in the plane. One was sitting here while looking at the other guests. They were crying and asking for her, but one was staring at them while her tears also falling. She had her son and put her face in her hands. He was tired. She was getting wet was enough for her. In the plane, Frank was sitting here while looking outside. His best friend was sitting beside him and he was looking at him while drinking juice. Frank was silent, so his best friend started to break the silence. What are you thinking? Are you still thinking about bonding? I'm not thinking about her. She's soon to be wife of my brother. I love my brother so much. So now I stopped thinking about her. She is just my brother's fiancée. So now you will get a new girl for him. Yes. They both laughed. 2 days later. I was sleeping, but suddenly they stopped the car. She opened her eyes and saw the girls. They all were terrified. She tried to look at the both men, but suddenly birds inside the truck. Food really fine looked at the girls, though had no stamina to speak, so Vine started banging the doors while help us. They helped them to come out when they brought out them to the fridge. One was happy that now she was asleep. They all were sitting here and whenever they went to the cover, they released and finally one number came. What is your name? My name is Vine. I'm from Daegu. He said, did you come from vacation? No. And then I came here, nodded, write down your parents' number. We will call them, ask them to bring you with them. She nodded and started writing the number. He looked at her. You are in so much worse condition. Go with her. She will give you extra clothes. Van nodded and started walking with Lady Go. Van sat down on the bed and looked at the Lady Go. When will I go when your parents come? Okay. She went inside the washroom and Dad went out. While on the other hand, Matthew's father, they tried to. He was sitting here talking to her father. I suggest you change your house and number because they will come here for your brother daughter. But what about Van? Where is she? Can't you find her? I'm trying, but leaving the place is better for us. 2 days later. My parents and my parents were sitting together, were talking about us. Suddenly they entered and were breaking everything. The prince and those men came. They all got up and those men sat down on the couch while smoking. Where's your son? He's here, I see. Of course, that girl who was with him that day, she ran away. My parents were addressing me one another. Girl, they looked at her sister. Why are you doing this? We don't harm you. Yes, uncle, but I know your daughter made me so angry because of her. You made another will have me to relax. One was lying here while thinking about her family. She didn't want to go back to that city because she was scared to go there. She just wanted to meet her parents. She sat down and drank the water because her heart was beat was so fast. All the girls were kidnapped and went to their houses. Only one was alone. I'm not happy because, but now I don't have any place to stay. Okay, she smiled and closed the door. One was happy and worried at the same time. She didn't want to. Her parents involved in this. She wanted to save them, but after hearing that what that didn't break up the girls, she became worried. I hope those men didn't touch my parents. Janko lay down on the couch while laughing. His friend also lay down beside him while laughing. They had so much and we became happy person after coming here became here for studies. Janko, did you notice those girls staring at us? Yes, they were so fine. So let's get their number tomorrow. 1 month later. Jack was sleeping peacefully, but suddenly his cell phone started ringing. He picked up the call in sleep and while your brother died, your friend he said badly and said, "What do that? Your brother died. Please come back." "No, mom, this is not true," he was saying, getting off the bed. "This is true. He got in an accident." While on the other hand, nobody knew where her parents were. She was sitting ever looking at her. She was left alone. She didn't have any plan. That lady by was so met towards and she liked it. One was here for 1 month that didn't go back. She was so scared to go out. Now her body wanted to relax. So she was becoming depressing person. Although she just read books and cried about her life. Where will I go? I don't have money. I will help you to get a job, really, but I don't want to work in a men's place. I mean, I want to work with a lady. Okay, don't worry, why not? And she closed the door. The next morning, he was standing in front of his brother, coughing his chair by falling, and he was just staring. Randy and his family were so heartbroken. Cook was a good person, that's why his teammate of the house were also crying. One smiled after coming out of the room. She looked at the beautiful trees and closed her eyes after feeling the cold air. Suddenly a truck came and she opened her eyes, and which when she thought it directly trauma kicked and started crying. She hid behind the door. What happened when she had breath to come out? Evelyn knocked on the door, but no one opened it. Ivan was standing beside her. Evelyn knocked again, and no one came. They were passing by the Miss Main. "Do you know where Miss Jules?" "She went to a funeral this Sunday where she used to work." "Oh, thank you. Don't worry, she will come back at night." At night, Ivan came again with Evelyn. Actually, was married to Ivan didn't want to stay at her place. Evelyn knocked on the door, and Mrs. Jules opened the door. "Hello, Mrs. Jules." They agreed to that. "I'm sorry to meet you again." "Come inside," Mrs. Jules said this. Mrs. Jules was crying while talking about Cook while Van was staring at her because she just heard about Joy in the news. "Mia, is such a good way, never be rude with you. Still can't believe he left us." "Who is this girl with you?" "Her name is Vani." "Vani, I used to do everything when you have." "Yes. Vani, you don't have to do anything. She just take care of a small shop by bread and cookies. Don't cry. Someone patting her back. Vani, in the morning I go to church once after that take care of my shop." "Okay." Evelyn gave her a smile and they started talking about their children. He said that he will come back after visiting his friend. Uncle was sitting in front of her while she was crying. His parents were also heartbroken. They were also crying. Uncle was sitting this Sunday because he couldn't believe his father died. When he was holding Cook's funeral, he was staring at the flame his brother told. Friends told him came back. He had a son and looked outside. 1 month later, one was happily giving the bread to the Christmas. She loved this work so much because he always had to work in the company. She was working very simple. She baked breads and Mrs. Jules came back at night because she again started working in Jules' machine. The regular woman came in heels at night. Mrs. Jules came back. "I'm back." She entered and looked at me. "Mrs. Joy came today." "Yeah, I know. She wanted to see the place where his son gave me." "Oh, nice." One gave her money. Now I was calling her parents, continuing her tears were falling because her parents were nowhere. Evelyn told her that she checked her parents' place, but they were not there, not even that city. She wrote her their numbers, but saying that her parents left that place and changed their address. My mother to talk to them. She was so desperate to hear their voice. She later on started thinking about her life. Then suddenly Mrs. Joy came to her mind. Her dress, her heels, her fragrance was so rich. My wanted to become rich as well, but now she just wanted to live a simple life. She didn't want any luxury. Years passed like this, and 4 years passed. I was crying because Mrs. Jules passed away. Mrs. Joy also came there because Mrs. Jules was old, but one was crying like a mess. Now she had no one. They buried Mrs. Jules after that. Mrs. Joy was sitting here in front of Ryan and Evelyn. "You can work at my place." She got her mind on leaving Ryan and Evelyn. But she's such a humble lady like Mrs. Jules. Don't worry, she will help you. Why not? 1 week later, was sitting on the floor by wiping the dirt on her. She was so focused and Junk was riding on the car, was watching her. Today was her first day in company. He was fully dressed, he was watching her, then one turned and broke the vase. He looked at Janko and didn't see any. She was about to touch the shattered piece, but don't touch them, this will cut your fingers. It smelled was so she put it in her pocket and wiped the platform and ordered a tissue. She put the broken piece in the trash and when he entered, "Are you new here?" One nodded yes. Okay, she got up and walked out. At night, she was putting the food on the table. She was nervous and her heartbeat was so fast. She just wanted to do that properly without breaking anything. Janko and his father were talking about business. And when he was sitting beside him, one was the first girl was working in their machine at a young age. Well, why do you hire her? She is a daughter, Miss Jules. The next day, she was lost in looking at their frame with Django and Django was turning. They looked same. How can they ever recognize them? With Joke by rest, they will recognize them. Don't worry. She flinched and looked back. And Srikasi and Ishka, I want to drink coffee, so Nick told Nick to give me. At night, Mine was walking towards the room, but suddenly she heard something. She stopped and hid behind the wall. And then she saw Janko and Manny talking to each other. The next morning, Janko was sitting with his friends and one was looking at him in the corner of his eyes and then he looked at her and she immediately turned her face. She ignored him and tried to not to look at him because she didn't want to show him that she knew his secret. 2 months later, Mine was passing by his father's room and by will go. How did he first see? And his father was talking about his enemy and she heard everything. And then his father saw her. Do you hear everything? Mine noted and she was sitting in front of him. On her knees, his mother was sitting on the carpet looking at her. He was loading his. I didn't want to go anything secret out of this man, so they thought that she will everything. Even the apple she was crying while begging. So she's innocent and know how crazy she will not. She will tell them. She know they have a habit of crime mates. This day wanted to say if I have enough saying let's get married to Janko. Was I written and what? Yeah, let's get married to him. I don't want any businessman daughter in this house. I remember now how my brother's wife she was out of the mansion, so you want him to marry me. Yes, and because of this she will not tell anyone. Now I was sitting here thinking about him. He was in love with Manny and she was so depressed right now. She didn't want to die or be kidnapped, but she was thinking that after getting married to him she would find find her parents. She didn't care about if he loved her or not. She was not in love with him. She just wanted to live a life which she is surprised when Mrs. Joyce at the over. The next day, Mom was standing here looking at the flowers, but he came out of the car and walked inside the mansion without even looking at her. She knew that he came back to know that his parents wanted him to marry her. After finally 1 month, their wedding date came. Mom was standing in front of him. He was looking at her when Marty was looking at her with heavy and she cloned her tears and she was crying but he didn't want to any another call. Now she entered the room and sat down on the bed. He was behind her. But after so many calls he went she knew he went, so she grabbed the apple and started eating. She didn't give a damn about his relationship. She just happy. She didn't get kidnapped. She was eating, but suddenly she looked at his phone. While on the run, why were you calling me like crazy? Why were you calling? Why were you calling you like crazy? Don't you know why I was calling you? You might admit, except I would behave like a loving person. Why did you marry me? Because of my parents. I just want to understand why auntie see any. Stop calling her. She's a human and being a maid is not a shame. Oh wow, look who is saying this. The biggest yes, yes, you even remember what you used to do in the past. Now I change the Django. Stop being like Django. You will not tell me you my copy or not. I will marry you because I want to. He turned and started walking towards the door. She grabbed the glass and threw it at him. He aggressively shut the door and he sat down on the floor. Man's eyes were closing, but he entered the room and said she sat down. He looked at her and walked towards the closet. She already changed her clothes. He came back and laid down on beside her. She thought that he would tell her to sleep on the couch, but he didn't. The next day, when she tried to open her eyes, fine, wake up, she opened her eyes and sat down. He was fixing her. Said, "Do you know what time is it?" She looked at the clothes and slowly get up. "Do you ever walk properly?" "It is not my staying. I fell because of this table." She came out and looked at him. "Let's go." He caught him and they both walked out together. They came out together and sat down together. When he was looking at them, Janku, "You look so happy today." "Yes, I am so happy." When I was looking at them enjoying. Made served the breakfast and they started eating. Janku, tell me clearly, do you touch her? He looked at her and she stood in front of him. Tell me, crazy is also my question. She was looking into his by putting her hand on his chest. But he put her hand and walked towards to tell her. Yes. Now stop asking. She was impressed. Tears asked her. Tears. No, he was about to go, but she grabbed his hand. Wendy, stop touching me. She will see us. So why are you afraid of her? She's just a meek. Leave me and don't forget who you are and who made you rich. He taunted. 1 month later. He entered the room and saw her crying. What happened? He walked towards her and sat down beside her. She looked at him and my parents touched and she started crying and started finding her back. How did they die? They killed him. Who? I don't know. And then again she started crying. Don't cry. One was surprised because she hugged him. She hugged him because he was not an arrogant person. After a few minutes, he broke the hug and asleep and they Jago didn't want to tell her about Bunny, but he was not sure about what it mean when he was madly in love with him, but he was not afraid whether that even have a friend safe for Maddie.